It was January. Nasib took me out for dinner at a luxurious restaurant we both fancied. Usually his emotions are well articulated and organized, but I could tell by the shakes in his voice he was nervous. His eyes were filled with passion as he expressed his feelings to me. "I want to be your husband and your best friend. I'll promise to cater to your needs," he whispered as he gently held my hand across the table. Like a blind butterfly, I felt his words lost inside me, tickling. I was scared, but I felt protected in those words. I trusted him. I knew deception wouldn't dare lay on his lips. It was Friday night. I remember the open sky, the full moon glaring through the window on our way home. There was a slight breeze of lustfulness looming in the air as we quietly sat in the car. It was a moment to be cherished, not with cheap words, but through the weight of patience and love, the power in taming desire as it seeped through the vessels of pride. It was painful. I loved his gentle approach and calm tenor. He kissed me on my cheek and whispered, "I love you," slowly into my ear before letting my hand go. His deep voice tickled my insides, tempting my curiosity to burst. I longed for his body, his manly scent, timidly fused with Hugo Boss. "Hold me a little longer," I secretly whispered into the wind, but my pride wouldn't deliver. We didn't sleep that night. We talked on the phone until the birds hummed tunes of blues in the early hours of the day. We chatted about our mutual hate for big weddings, our bad habits, and meher. Nasib and I both weren't really religious, but we wanted our marriage to be a symbol of love for each other and for God. We wanted to keep it small, mostly family and friends. We both worked as newbies in the profession we graduated in, so we barely had the funds for a big wedding. We marked 25th of April, married on our calendar. Obligated by a withering culture, my father had to give me away, so we had to accommodate to his busy schedule as we waited for him to return back from Somalia. In the meantime, we prepared ourselves emotionally and financially. In March, we found a 2-bedroom apartment in the same building as my mother. I thought it was brilliant since I wanted to care for my mother as often as possible. My father arrived in the first week of April. We rarely spoke, but for the first time, we sat in the living room as he attempted to care and inquire about my life and future goals. He wanted to know if I trusted and loved Nasib enough to share a life with him. My mouth curved into an ironic smile to reflect my father's fiend wisdom. How hypocritical, I thought. "Abo, he'll provide what a wife deserves to gain out of a husband," I replied as I stared at him with distasteful look. He was not in a position to speak about trust and love. My mother's feet were swollen from the heavy burden he should have carried as a husband and a father. My father was hesitant about Nasib due to his fatherless past. "No one knows wuxuu yahay," my father expressed his pretentious concerns. How would he know? He had never met or spoke to Nasib. He was just going through baseless speculations, judging Nasib through the actions of his deadbeat father who had disappeared before he was even born. It was obvious they needed to meet each other.